Hi friends, good afternoon. It's Designs by Talisa Lindsay. I'm coming to you this afternoon with a DIY. It's going to be a table runner. And you guys have seen in the past a few of those I've been posting probably in the last few weeks, and you guys voted on it. And so being that you voted on it, so now we're going to do that DIY. There'll be some things I might change up, and based on the feedback you guys give me, because we're going to do this together, we'll decide which one and which way we're going to do it. So without further ado, the things that you will need is going to be obviously burlap, because that's the one thing that I love to use when I'm doing any of my table runners. If I'm not using this, then I'll use muslin or linen. And the other items that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree was, right now they have 2 handkerchiefs, which is the red and the blue one, and you can get those for $1, so you can get $1 for 2 of them. I've already cut those up. My husband had some jeans that he had to retire, so we included that. And in my stash, I've told you guys in the past, I do a lot of shopping at the Goodwill outlet store. And so that's where I pick up a lot of my lace items, like curtains or anything, and I buy it in bulk and cut it up. Depending, because some of them, if they're old and they're worn and they're torn, I don't repurpose them for anything other than when I'm doing my jean jackets, my tassels I make jewelry with. I can cut them up and make, like, what do you want to call them? A panel for anything as far as a curtain goes. It's a number of things I use it for. So just a little DIY there. Hey, Carol, glad to see you. And excuse my voice. I have something to drink here. Hopefully it'll last through this DIY for me. I sound a little froggy, and I need my glasses to see, because this is, yeah, when you get a certain age, you have to have stylish glasses because you can't see as well on certain projects, and this is one of them. So what I've already done to kind of shortcut this, I've never found that you can launder burlap. So hey Drew, hey Sandra. Oh, I'm so glad you're able to pop in, and Sue as well. I've already folded over a neat, and I've used my handy dandy Gorilla Glue already, and I've already had that dry and set. There'll be the type of colors I'm going for. I have some long pieces, some short pieces, and I'm going to put the focus off me so much, and we're going to go down to the table so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. It's going to be at different lengths, and that's how I love to do my runners, because I think that it adds a little bit of not only a texture, but once we're done, don't freak out about what we're going to be doing as far as adding the items up here on the runner, and hopefully it'll go pretty quickly. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm finding some pieces that I can fold over, like the longer pieces here, because when I fold them over, I like to have them where they add a little bit more, what do I want to use? A little bit more volume. That's a better word to use. So I'm going to start by laying them out first, kind of eyeballing it so I know how I want to lay it out. And like I said, we're going to go with different lengths. Now, it's easier, to be honest with you. It's really much easier if you have a sewing machine. Hey, Melissa, that you can do this with. However, right now I could not get my sewing machine out because we don't have my own little crafting room yet, which we hope in the future that will happen. I have to put things up in the garage and then pull them out as I need them. So right now, my husband and I get to share spaces, and that can be a challenge sometimes. So he is, I love him for it. He is neat and tidy, and I like it. And being creative that I am, well, let's just say, if most of you are creative like I am, and I want to see some like raising the hands, or let me know if you're this way, that when you see something creative, you see a pile of something and you're like, oh, I know what I can do with that. Where my husband, on the other hand, says, oh, well, I can toss that. Can any of you relate to that? Because that is so him. So I'm just measuring a few of these out. And the same thing as far as the materials that we're going to be using for this. I started off with lace, and I'm going to keep it going that way as I continue, kind of like a pattern, simply so I don't have too much of one color in one area. And I'm going to go in different lengths as well. So you'll see none of them will match, but I promise you that when it's done and over with, it'll look really nice. And at the top, you won't see all of this. We're going to cover that as well, so don't freak out about it, because some people will be like, ah, yeah. So let's just get started. I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue, but most of the time, just to make it faster and easier, I just grab my sewing machine out and I just go at it. But most of you probably won't have a sewing machine, so I have to keep that in mind, because I don't think a lot of you want, unless you do, then that's an option, you can do that. But I don't think you want to go out and spend a few $100s on a sewing machine. I'll fold this over. Once I get going on this part of the technique, it goes pretty quickly. Hey, Dee. And Margaret, for you guys that are in here right now with me, Dee is in, I believe, Chalk Couture, if I'm saying that correctly. Dee, please chime in. You're welcome to chime in and let me know if I say that correctly. But I don't know much about Chalk Couture. I've had a few friends within the last month. Elizabeth asked me if I was interested in maybe doing some of that in my DIYs, because you guys know that I do signs and wood, and I implement that every once in a while, but it's not all the time. And that's because I just want to give you guys other options about what to do with DIYs. And I like to save those options really for my painting classes and my craft classes, my group classes. So yes, it was Chalk Couture. Well, anyhow, what I wanted to say about that with Chalk Couture is that she sent me a little DIY kit she let me choose from, and I absolutely love, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, lemons right now. Lemons is really beautiful right now. And I hope that you guys tell me, are you guys able to see what I'm doing? As far as putting this, I'm just gluing it on right now so you can just see. I just want to make sure that everybody has eyes and my camera's angled at the proper place for you to be able to see. So anyhow, my idea is I've come up with an idea of a DIY I want to do with this beautiful Chalk Couture print that she sent me. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek while we're doing this. Because I have it right here on my projects to do. It's this top one right here with the lemon. So what my idea is I would like to do something on the lines of maybe with a picture frame and a candlestick. And obviously I want a black background with black chalk so that the yellow that I'm going to use for the lemon will pop really bright. I think would be gorgeous. Dee, tell me if you like my ideas. Okay, Carol, thank you for getting back with me. I appreciate that. So anyhow, I'll be bringing that to you in the honor of Dee, because she obviously sent it to me and said, hey, Lisa, would you mind doing this DIY for me? And I said, sure, why not? You send me something for free that I enjoy to do, I will be happy to do that and show So that's what we're going to do. Hey, Barb. And I hope, by the way, Barb, that you have safe travels with your daughter with graduation. We're also going to our graduation party this evening. It seems like it's that time of the year. My godson, well, I call him my godson. I was there for his birth. I actually caught him as he was coming out. He's graduating this year. It's hard to believe it's been that long ago, but he is. And then we have some close friends from our church that all of 4 young ladies have graduated. We didn't get to go to that because I had a class that night, which, you know, you can't be everywhere at one time. I mean, see if I can see that. Okay, well, enjoy, Barb, and have safe travels, and we'll see you when you get back. And speaking of that, guys, if you're on here, my business mentor told me that, you know, you can do your DIY channel any way you choose to. So I'm going to throw this out there. Any of you, don't ever feel like you can't message me. A few of you have, about needing prayer, about certain things that maybe you're going through or need in life. And I am all ears and all about praying for you. So please, if you need that, because we all need that community sometimes, of just knowing that somebody's willing to take the time and just be in battle and prayer for our needs. So please. Oh, that's so sweet. Hey, Debbie, I'm glad to see you too. So please feel free to make sure that if you ever need prayer, I'm here at any time. Just message me and I'll be happy to put you on that prayer list anytime. Or even pray with you personally if you need me to. I'm good with that too. So, this is so quick. We're about to be done. How quick this is going to be, except at the very end. Yes, it is, D. I totally agree it is. Oh, D. Oh, Debbie, thank you. Thank you about my hair. I appreciate that. I had it colored again because I'm not like these young girls. These young girls love having their hair gray, but I can't embrace the gray yet. You know, I'm just not there yet. And even my sister-in-law has embraced it, and she looks cute. She's put these like pink, bright pink in her hair. That's just not me. But I'm sure it will be one day when I'm ready to get sassy. Hey, Michelle, I'm glad to see you too. Wasn't sure how my Saturday afternoon was going to be doing this live because most of us are off doing things with our family, but we'll be gone this evening with friends celebrating their daughter who's graduating. So you've got to fit it in when you can. And you know, there's always a good time to craft. Can any of you give me an amen? It's always a good time to craft. I know you like it. Yeah, you're with me about no grays. Hey, Elizabeth. I agree, girl. No grays for me either. And I may, depending on if I like the fullness of this or not, just drop the glue gun. I may go back through and add a little bit more, few more layers to this. I'll see once I pick it up if I want to or not. But folding the fabric, and I'll explain. Sorry, give me a second. I'll explain as I go why I chose to fold the fabric. And by the way, tomorrow, you guys can't see it, it's off camera. Yes, you did blonde too. Aw, Debbie, that's so sweet. You guys have seen that I showed you I make these tassels. But however, I've made a lot of other jewelry in the past. And before I decided to actually do my Facebook, what do you want to call it, page, business page, I also did a lot of, they were events that I did with some company called Fancy Flea, and I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them, but they're really, really popular in Florida. And a lot of women, actually, it's crazy. We have, I want to say, over 400 vendors a year that comes to this. They fly in from out of state to come to it. It's huge. And we have it at the fairgrounds. And I know the lady personally. She's a dear, dear, sweet person. Her name is Lori. Well, I've been doing the Fancy Flea with her for quite some time. And anyhow, I have decided to put more of my focus on doing my channel because I seem to be able to get a big, broader group of you at one time than I do. And I will still do Fancy Flea, but I have quite a bit of inventory of homemade jewelry and other items that I have decided, you know what, to help continue to grow and financially, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and they're going to be at very, very, very good prices. Yes, Melissa, hi. And give you guys the option first, and I'll have everything labeled with a number. You can tell me what item that you obviously like. I'm making sure that I'm staying in order here so I don't mess up. And we will send you an invoice, and then you can just pay for it and we'll ship it out to you. But I have a lot of jewelry, and I need to really scale down that inventory and just bless somebody else with it, because who doesn't love things that are unique and different that you can't necessarily get bulks of online, because that's how I am. I love making my own stuff. Oh, thanks, Carol. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. And we're almost to the very end here. And being that we're almost going to be at the very end, there'll be something I'm going to need you guys to help vote with at the very end. And you'll get to see it so you can decide which one is the better one. And then we're just going to end this off with a blue bandana. And I pre-cut these ahead of time just because we don't need to waste all that time cutting, because how boring can that be? So I'm just going to lap that over at the very end. Okay, and here's where we're going to get the voting going. All right, I'm going to move these out of the way. You guys are going to choose, and we're going to go with 1, 2, or 3. Hey, Sandra, I'm glad you're here. So here it is. Do you want to go with, and I'm going to lay it down in front so you all get a glance at it. Do you want to go with option 1, because we're going to be able to cover all of this so you won't see it. That's 1, so keep that in mind. Take a look. We're going with, hi, Sandra. I'm glad to see you. Option 2, which is this one. And we got one more. I know which one's my favorite, but we're going to see what you guys said. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you doing that. Spreading the love is what Sandra just did. If everybody else can do that, I would greatly appreciate it, because I can't say the S-H-A-R word anymore. So if you all are able to spread the love, please do so, because that really does help me grow, and I appreciate it. And I can continue to do things like this in a friendly budget item way. Now, and this one is option 3. So you all saw there was 1, there was 2, and there was 3. So far, I've got one person doing 1, one person doing 2. Let's see, it's hard for me to decide, because I mean, there's 2 of them I really like. One of you are doing 3. Okay, so show 1 and 2 again. All right, well, here's 3. I really like 3. This one is 1. And I think the reason you guys may like that's just because of the burlap that's in the background. And it does, I have to agree, it does kind of look really good with it. So there's one. Yes, Sandra, 3 is really, really pretty. And 2 just pops a little bit. So you want me to lay them out side by side? Okay. Well, then let's do that. There's one. Let's see what else we got. Hold on. Make sure you guys are also commenting along. Please, I appreciate that too, because that also puts me into the feed. And then here's 3. Trying to get them all to balance up here on the table is hard to do. So we got them all up here. Elizabeth suggested. There's one. I'm going to lay it out in front of the material. There's 2. And there's 3. So 1, I've got my fingers on right now. 1, 2, or 3. Right now I've got 3 is probably the most. Let's see. 3 of you are, yeah, 3 is winning. So I think we're going to do 3 then. 3 it is. Don't make me change my mind. You guys are throwing in the last minute votes. 3. Okay. I was hoping, I'm going to be honest, I was hoping you guys would say 3 because I really like 3. But that's me. Hey, Jessica, I'm so glad you're able, and Anne, to come and see me. Make sure that you guys are able to spread the love if you know what that means, please. I appreciate that. And we're going to cut this. We're going to glue it down. This side of the runner is going to be done, and I'm going to show you how pretty. And obviously, I'll be doing a picture of it later so you can see it. I'm just going through and spreading some of the glue because this is not something that you're going to launder, but you can keep it on the table. If you need to spot clean it, you can do that fairly easy. I've done that because I have some gorgeous lace and burlap runners, but I haven't used glue on them. Those I actually, those I actually use and sew with. So this one's a little different. Now we're just going to do this side. Running out of my glue. Oh, let me get my other glue. This one's a tiny one compared to the other one. I feel like I can get a lot more done when I have the massive one. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing the love. I appreciate you guys. You too, Carol. Oh, Joanne, you're so kind. Thank you. I will have to hold myself accountable if I tell all of you guys. So just make sure that you ask me each week, so that'll keep me on tabs. But hey, Elizabeth, thank you. I'm really trying my best to get this menopausal weight off. It's been a bear, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that. It's not been very easy, but I'm trying. I'm trying. It's I don't want to jinx myself, but so far it's been 7 pounds. So we have a tendency as we get older, it wants to come on in that little middle section, which, ugh. It's hard to deal with, but it's life. Thank you, Melissa. I am so, so grateful. You guys don't know how grateful I am. And I'm just going to tack this down just a little bit on the edges here so it doesn't curl up. And I appreciate you guys voting for me because, you know, honestly, it does help me decide But here's the other reason. I really enjoy having you guys participate and help me in doing this because it feels like it's a group effort. You know, it feels like we're doing it together instead of me just doing it all by myself when I'm, even though you guys are watching me. All right, I'm going to show you how pretty this is. It's one of my absolute favorite ways to make runners. And I do this a lot when it comes to weddings or baby showers. So I will not be upset at all if you feel like you want to do the same thing for any of your future events that you have, life events. So just make sure you share it with me because I would love to see it. Because I'd have, see how gorgeous that is? Please, please respond. Tell me how much you love this. Come on, you got to tell me. Do you not like it? I love, 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 love it. So anyhow, when it's hanging off the end of the table, this is what you're going to see. And it's great for Memorial Day that's coming up and the 4th of July. And you can tuck it away and you can use it for the following year. Oh, Drew, or Stephanie, I appreciate you. You're so sweet. Thank you. So yes, so see, it's so simple. Now, another idea you can do, and I have the templates, and it's so easy to do if you have a computer. If you wanted to add a little bit more going down the center of the runner, and you don't have a lot that's going to be on your table, if you want to sprinkle a little bit of these stars, you can get a template off of your computer. And I'm making a banner, by the way, that's going to match this. This is why I've already done this. But you can make a template and you can just randomly, and I may decide to do that off of camera because I don't want to bore you guys with that. Where's my other one? I had it right here. It probably fell down. But I'm going to get off in a few minutes. I'm going to show you. Here it is. What you can do is you can just go and if you have any of, I have the acrylic glue, I'm sorry, acrylic paint, you can use to do this with. Just make sure that whenever you're painting, you have something underneath this for a background so that it will bleed through. I'm just going to warn you. So maybe some plastic of some kind that you can put down would be great. But I just painted the stars, and you can paint those randomly right here if you wanted to, like zigzag. I wouldn't even do it straight across. I would zigzag it. That's just me because I think it would look really awesome. And you could do that with the stars. Are you able to see what I'm talking about? Give me thumbs up or respond if you're able to see what I'm talking about as far as the stars. But remember, this is a banner. I'm not going to put it on like that. I'm just giving you ideas. Yes, I agree. So that is how you are able to get away with doing a table runner for very inexpensive for the holidays. And I'm sure a lot of us can budget in that $5 because you actually can go buy a bulk of this burlap from Walmart for less than $5 for the whole roll. And you can cut it to the length of your table, and I'm sure that you will have leftovers. And with that leftovers, here's some more ideas you could do with that. You could fold them, and I've actually did it, I believe it was at Easter time I did it. You could fold them, and you could make them silverware holders. You would just fold it up into, I want to say make it into a rectangle, fold the end up, glue the sides together. At the very top of it, you can put some of this trim that we have right here if you want to, and make it silverware holders that would match the table, and you would have a complete table setting for really, really, greatly under a budget that you can afford to do. So with that said, this is the cute little table runner that you all voted on that we completed, and I will take pictures of it and show it later. It may wind up being on my my hutch and my pie cases where I'm going to probably have it. And I will probably jump back on in a few minutes because I want to get things prepped and ready. But I don't want this one to go too long, simply for anybody else that may just want to go through and watch it really quick. But I'm going to jump back on and I'm going to make this banners that's going to match this, because that's, again, something you guys all voted on a couple of weeks back whenever I was asking you which table runners that you like best and which runners that you actually banners that you like best. My tongue's getting twisted. I need to drink a little bit more of my tea before I come back on so my throat's not so dry. So, thank you all for joining me. And remember to always try your best to take the ordinary, make it extraordinary in whatever home decor that you're doing or whatever DIY that you're choosing to do. And hopefully you can do it within a budget. And if you need any ideas in that area, please message me. I know a lot of you have. Sheila, I believe you, Carol, Mary, I'm trying to think of all their names. Suzanne, was it Abby? And I'm just going this for a moment when I talk about all these names. And I'm sure there's a few others, but you all have messaged me and showed me your DIYs that you've done off of what I have taught you. And that's what inspires me. So I appreciate you guys doing that. And feel free to continue to flood that with me if you want to. I appreciate it. I don't mind it at all. So love you all, and I'll see you all very soon with the next DIY.